Big blockbuster movie weekend, yes? Some of you grumbling. Yes, it's a big blockbuster movie. What's the big movie that came out this weekend? Exactly, right? Not to be confused with the one that came out last year, right? So Wicked, the second part, the rest of the story, Wicked for Good came out this weekend. How many have seen it? 3, 7, 9 of you, no. Did you see it? Was it good? I have not seen it yet, but I can tell you about it. So, long story short, this is Wicked, the second movie that's come out, based on the Broadway musical Wicked, which was just a blockbuster, yes or yes? Which is really based on the story The Wizard of Oz. So even if you have not seen the Broadway play, the movie 1, movie 2, you're going to be able to relate to this. They changed some of the character names, yes? So yes, just say yes. You got Elphaba, you got Glinda. Elphaba is like the wicked witch. Glinda, of course, is the good witch. Not to be confused, there is also the Wizard of Oz. You know the story, right? And ultimately, although the story takes different sidebars, there is one deep desire, and if you haven't seen the Broadway play or the movies, you know this from Dorothy. Where does Dorothy want to get to? Where does Dorothy want to go? The whole thing is about one thing, and it's getting, but it's also a tale of a grasp between good and evil. It's really the grapple with seeing what is good and best and right in each person, amen? But at the beginning and the end of the day, where does Dorothy, where does Glinda, where do they want to go? And can you imagine if every day your deepest desire was to do one thing, and what's that one thing? Go home. That's the feast of Christ the King. What we celebrate today, better said, what we proclaim today, in a wonderful, hopeful way. This is not our home. Our home is where we will be with the Lord and our loved ones forever. Our home is in Jesus Christ. The second reading powerfully proclaims He is the first, the last, the beginning, and the end. He is everything. And He is the one that can make everything right in your lives, in our world, now and forever. And not only do we celebrate that Jesus gave His life so that we could find our way, along the way, He shows us, He gives us a different vision. A vision of how you and I are called to live and love and serve each and every day on that path that leads us home. Go to the gospel today. In 3 short sentences, what a powerful witness and what an incredible dialogue. The repentant thief, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Ultimately, even the repentant thief knows that he wants to get home. And then think about Jesus' response. There he is giving his life so that we could get our way home. And in that moment, in that exchange, is an outpouring of mercy and compassion. In those 3 sentences, it reminds us, first of all, that we should have the deepest desire every day to get home. And along the way, can you imagine if we treated everyone with the same compassion, mercy, and outpouring of love that Jesus demonstrated on the cross? Then we would actually not only be working to get to the kingdom of heaven, but along the way, we would be building the vision of God's kingdom here and now and forever. As you walk into the week, number 1, our deepest desire every day has to be to get home. And as you gather with your families in a loving but thoughtful way, how do you stir the conversation about making sure that you and your family are on the path that leads home? parents and grandparents especially. You can't imagine not having all your children and grandchildren with you in the promise of heaven, amen? But we need to talk about that. We need to talk about what are we doing individually, what are we doing as a family to make sure that we are walking the path together so that your family can all find your way home. You can do it in a loving way, but those are the conversations. You can talk all you want around the table about the Browns. The conversation hasn't changed, has it? But can you imagine if you talk about God, talk about faith, and talk about as a family how you're walking that path that leads you home? Number 2, whether it be The Wizard of Oz, Wicked, the Broadway play, Wicked the movies, it's a grapple over good and evil. Every choice we make matters. We either choose the good or we don't. And as you reflect this week, as all of us will, reflect deeply on your choices. As I said, there is no such thing as an insignificant choice. Every choice matters. And every choice needs to make sure that you and your family are on the path and on the path that leads home. And number 3. So in the Broadway musical and in the movies, there is this incredible song, right? So Elphaba and Glinda, they are singing this song together. It's about their relationship. It kind of unpacks the whole thing, and it goes, "Because I knew you, I have been changed for the better." And then it ends and resolves by saying, "Because I knew you, I have been changed for good." Because I knew you, I have been changed for the better. And then it resolves by saying, "Because I knew you, I have been changed for good." Think about the dialogue between Jesus and the repentant thief. Can you imagine if every person we met, we engaged in the conversation with such thoughtfulness, such mercy, such compassion, that everyone should be able to walk away from us and say, "My life, it has been changed for the better. It has been changed for good."